Since the 1930s, when gas and electric arc welding became the method for pipe joining, a mechanical contractor's profitability has been determined mainly by the quality of that welding, its safety record, and how well it adheres to the codes and state regulations that apply. So, as a contractor, where can you find the tools that will help ensure that your company's piping installations meet or even exceed those codes and state regulations and reduce your liability risks? The answer is the National Certified Pipe Welding Bureau, or NCPWB, a subsidiary of the Mechanical Contractors Association of America. It all comes down to 4 terms I'm sure you've seen in contract documents: welding procedure specifications, brazing procedure specifications, certified welders, and certified brazers. All 4 have implications for your company, especially when it comes to code compliance. So what are welding procedure specifications and brazing procedure specifications? They describe the process and techniques that your company must follow to ensure that any weld meets or exceeds all the requirements of a specific code or specification. And what are certified welders and certified brazers? They are individuals who your company certifies as qualified to perform a specific type of welding or brazing. The contract documents for jobs performed to ASME B31 codes require that the mechanical contractor certify all welders and brazers working on the job. Some federal and state regulations also mandate the use of qualified procedures and qualified welders on certain piping system installations, such as those in power, petrochemical plants, and even hospitals and office buildings. As contractors, you have a responsibility to meet piping codes when installing piping systems. But what happens if your installed piping system fails? What's next? And what will it end up costing you? Well, the cost of repairing your company's own work is a given, but that's just for starters. Think about the price to replace the work of others, like drywall, carpentry, painting, and carpeting, just to name a few. And your company's reputation could suffer. You might even lose your business. Why take that risk? Even if you've spent the time to develop your own system, are you absolutely sure that the system is fail-proof? Can you really afford to find out? As a contractor, you know that developing your own welding procedure specifications is complex and can be frustrating. It's trial and error, where specimens from a test weld have to be evaluated for their tensile strength and ductility. If the specimens fail to meet strength or ductility requirements, you have to tweak the procedure and weld and test another coupon until the results are up to code. But you can avoid going through the frustration of having your welders qualify for each and every type of weld or braze your company makes on a job. There is an easier option. All B31 codes for pressure piping allow members of a competent group or agency to use welding and brazing procedure specs that have been developed by that group or agency. So where do you find such a competent group or agency? Look no further than the NCPWB, an organization of contractors who have come together to jointly develop welding and brazing procedure specifications that comply with the ASME B31 codes. The NCPWB was established in 1944 and provides its members with more than 100 pre-qualified welding procedure specifications for all types of piping materials. The Bureau also provides members with 4 pre-qualified brazing procedure specifications covering copper alloys and copper to carbon steel. As a member of the NCPWB, you'll be able to adopt these procedures, saving the time, cost, and frustration associated with qualifying your own procedures. Once you join NCPWB and adopt its procedures, the next step is to qualify your welders and brazers. Simply hiring competent welders who have passed the rigorous UA weld tests from your local union hall is not enough. Those workers' welding or brazing qualification records must match your company's qualified welding and brazing procedures. If they don't, then you are not in compliance with the requirements of the ASME B31 code. It can be extremely costly to re-qualify your welders for every job, but contractors needlessly do it again and again. You can avoid this expense by taking advantage of something called interchange of welders' records. Under the ASME B31 piping codes, welder qualification test records may be interchanged among contractors who use the same welding and brazing procedure specifications. This means that an NCPWB member company that uses the Bureau's welding and brazing procedure specifications can use welders and brazers who have been qualified by any other NCPWB member contractor without requalifying them. Imagine the savings! To assist with the interchange and record keeping, the NCPWB has a national welder database with information on thousands of welders, including each welder's name, qualification date, location, and the processes for which the welder is qualified. The database also includes the welder's continuity records, or records of each welding process used every 6 months as required by the ASME B31 codes. If a welder has not used a process for longer than 6 months, his qualification expires and the welder must be retested for that weld. In addition, the database makes it easy for NCPWB chapters to exchange welders' records among NCPWB member contractors nationwide. That means you can find a qualified welder and put him or her to work almost immediately, without time-consuming and costly requalification. What's more, since 1997, the NCPWB has partnered with the United Association of Plumbers, Fitters, Welders, and Service Technicians, or UA, to offer a single uniform welder certification program for the mechanical piping industry. The UA weld test procedures and the NCPWB production welding and brazing procedures complement each other and have been developed jointly to comply with piping code regulations. You can't use a test procedure without its matching welding or brazing procedure specification. Many joint performance qualification tests, or JPQT records, have been developed to save contractors the time they might otherwise spend matching a test procedure to the appropriate welding or brazing procedure specification. The joint program is designed to meet the growing need for experienced, high-quality welders. It addresses the facility owners' and managers' welding needs, as well as those of the union contractors who do the building, the renovation, and the maintenance. The Joint UA NCPWB Welder Certification Program gives NCPWB member contractors a competitive edge by eliminating costly repetitive testing, while making it easier to acquire skilled and qualified UA welders. NCPWB membership provides a wealth of technical and practical information on how to comply with piping codes. It gives you access to experienced contractors who can answer your code questions. In many cases, they actually represent the NCPWB and MCAA on the code bodies. It helps you accept UA-trained welders into your welding program, and it opens the door to expert and technical advice from the NCPWB National Consultant. NCPWB membership provides an economical alternative to developing your own procedures and continuing to needlessly requalify welders. The cost of being an NCPWB member is less than the cost of qualifying one welder. And NCPWB membership saves you aggravation and time, while reducing the liability risk involved with welding and brazing procedures and welder qualification. Remember, whether to join the NCPWB is a business decision to be made with profit in mind. While you may not like the codes you have to deal with, You comply because it's good business and promotes profit by minimizing potential liability. In the same way, membership in the NCPWB promotes profit by eliminating repetition and enabling you to get the right welder on the job right away. To join, contact your local MCAA affiliated association or your local NCPWB chapter for further information, or call the national office 301-869-5800.